So a few things, if you find when you're sitting, sometimes the pelvis ends up kind of tipping back and or the knees end up quite a bit higher than the waist. If that's happening, I'll suggest sitting on a blanket or two to elevate the pelvis. It's usually a little more comfortable. Yeah, and you can turn to face this direction. Yeah, and just give yourself a little bit of a wobble, a little side to side, and see if you can find yourself evenly weighted between the right and the left side. Yeah, and it won't be completely even if you're cross-legged, but just do the best you can with that. And then let's take just a little bit of a forward back rock. If you're familiar with cat-cow, that sort of movement in the pelvis. And here too, just try to get a sense of where the middle is. Many of us have a tendency or just a postural habit to be either really far forward or really far back. See if you can find the middle here. Yeah. And then once you arrive, let the movement settle down. Let's let the hands rest, let the face rest. And if it feels okay to close your eyes, do that. And here in the room, we've got a little noise next door from the construction. And that can be a source of distraction. Those of you at home might have other distractions going on. So just acknowledge for a moment any potential distractions, noises, pets, children, anything kind of that could perhaps interfere with your yoga. And instead of getting angry or annoyed about that, see if you can embrace it for what it is and allow your practice to happen and unfold as it will. In the midst of any distractions or potential upset. Take hands to heart center. And instead of opening with an om, you might like to join me just for a little hum. And what that does, it slows down the exhale and it also creates some vibrations through your body. So if you'd like to join me for that, we'll take a breath in. And then on the exhale, just a hum. Oh. Let the chin bow down and your eyes blink open. We'll take the head to center here. Interlace your fingers and just press the palms of the hands forward. Let the back round. Let the shoulder blades move apart. And then we'll come up with the arms overhead. Keep the interlace and keep the palms facing the ceiling. Let's go a little bit to the right. I'll mirror you guys. And then we'll come up and go a little bit to the left. Yeah. And then we'll come up, undo the hands, give the wrists some big juicy circles as you take the arms back down. And for those of you who are cross-legged, let's switch so the other leg is in front, and it usually feels a little different. Yeah, it's our second favorite side. Let's take the hands to the knees, and now we'll make a larger back and forth. So earlier we did just kind of a small little tilt in the pelvis. Let the whole body be involved in this, and you choose how big you want it to go. So I'm making mine pretty large. If you wanted to go with that, you could, or maybe not so much. As we move through our practice today, I'll offer different possibilities, so don't feel like you have to do the one I'm demonstrating. You might take one of the other options. Yeah. Let's pause here the next time you come back to center. And on an inhale, stretch the arms up over your head. On the exhale, we'll go over to the right side, taking the right hand to the floor. And next inhale, rotate a little more, chest towards the ceiling. Exhale, turn the chest down towards the floor. So take that a few more times. Here too, you choose how large of a movement you'd like to do. And then on the next inhale, we'll come all the way up and over for side two. Same thing. So as the inhale happens, you'll turn up. And as the exhale happens, you'll turn down. And you might notice different things happening on the right side versus the left. Often the case. Great, friends. Let's come up on the next inhale, all the way back up to the center. And take again those hand circles as you release the arms down. Let's take the fingers to the front of your shoulders. Elbows are bent, and we'll take a few shoulder circles in this position. Great. And then go the other direction with that. Okay. Release the arms. Let's stretch the legs out in front of you. And just take a second here, any sort of movement in the feet, the ankles, you might wiggle the toes, circle around. Yeah. Okay, friends, so we'll reconvene in the all fours position, hands and knees. Do feel free to put a blanket under your knees if the floor feels kind of hard. Yeah. And then let's begin with some spinal movement. And at first, that's anything that you want it to be. We'll be more specific after we've just moved around a little bit. And as you are moving along here, notice if there are any little sticky spots or parts of the spine that don't really want to move. Sometimes just noticing where those are, that's the first step. Yeah. And then we'll take a little break here. Let's pause and go back to child's pose, hips towards the heels. Now, some of you will go all the way back like I'm doing. If that's a no-go for any reason, you could just kind of go partial and rest on the elbows and the forearms with the hips not going back so far. Yeah? Give yourself a little wobble from side to side if that feels okay. And when you're ready, we'll reset in the all fours position, finding the all fours again. Let's take the right leg back with the toes tucked under and just give your body a little back and forth, kind of a push-pull, little calf stretch. Exactly. And we'll pause here, keeping the leg back. Can you broaden the collarbones? Can you lift through the belly? And without disturbing your spine, can you lift up through the right leg? Yeah. Now, some of you will stay here with just the leg. Some of you will add on the left arm, going straight ahead with the thumb up. Take it or leave it. Let's inhale. And on the exhale, bring the arm and the leg in towards each other. And on the inhale, re-lengthen. Now, if you were doing this with just the leg, it would look like this. If you're doing arm and leg together, the arm and leg just move opposite, kind of away from each other and towards each other. Yeah, so we're going to make it a little more interesting here, friends. Let's pause the next time the elbow and knee are bent. And instead of going forward and back, let's go out to the side. So the elbow goes left, the knee goes right, and we'll hold. It's very horrible, this position. Yeah, good, good. And then that's enough. Put the hand down, put the knee down. Let's go back to child's pose. And if you're able to do it with the toes tucked under, try that on for size. And maybe give yourself that little wobble again. Maybe go up onto your fingertips if your hands need a little break. Yeah. Now, depending on what's going on in your feet and your knees, this next part may or may not be for you. If you want to try it, walk the hands back to the knees and come sit on the heels. We won't be here for long, just an opportunity to stretch the feet. Yeah. Toe torture asana is what I like to call it. Yeah. All right, that's enough. Let's come out. Put the hands down, undo the feet, and they might need a little shake out for a second after that one. We're going to do the left side, left leg back, and give yourself at first just the motion. Back and forth we go a couple of times. And now before we lift the leg, let's pause. Can you broaden the collarbones? Can you lift the belly? And without drooping in the belly, let the left leg float up. You decide if the right hand is staying down or if it's coming straight ahead. Inhale, we stay. Exhale, we pull it in. Take that a couple more times with or without the arm. Try not to let the torso wobble around. Keep all of that really, really still. And then let's pause the next time we're in, and instead of going forward, back, we'll go out. So elbow knee stay bent. Elbow goes wide to the right, left knee goes to the left. Yoga skydiver asana. And enough is enough. Hand comes down, knee comes down. Back to child's pose. You choose what the feet want to do. You choose what the hands want to do. I'm going to flip my hands over and just do a little finger curl in and out a couple of times because the wrist a break. And then let's reset. Put the hands in front of you with flat palms. And we'll take this sort of a circular action. Let the elbows bend, and without moving your hands, try to drag the hands towards your knees. The hips will lift up. The arms will straighten, the chest will lift. And then we'll round back through cat pose, and then take it back to child's pose, elbows bend. So let's come forward and up. And then we go round and back. If you want to add this to the breath, the inhale is the forward and up, and the exhale is the round and back. If your pace needs to be a different pace than mine, that's fine. And we're going to do something a little different here. So the next time we go back to child's pose, let's stay. Scooch the hands a little further forward. Press down into the floor, and then let's round up first through cat pose. And then you'll continue forward. The spine will extend, the elbows will bend, and will land on the belly. Yeah, so just changing the direction of movement here. On the next inhale, we'll peel up for cobra. I'm going to keep mine small. If you want to go big, you can. Exhale, we take it down. Let's do two more just like that. The inhale is a little lift. And the exhale, we release. Now this last one, let's pause in the lift. Press into the hands, go back to child's pose. Let's tuck the toes under. Great, so let's do the pattern again. Round up through cat pose. Toes go back, chest comes forward, the spine unravels, we bend the elbows and we're down. And then just the one cobra here. Let's come up and back to child's pose, whatever you want in the feet. Yeah, let's take the pattern one more time. So we round up and forward, elbows bend, we land down. And then we peel up and back. Do tuck the toes under here. We're going to transition into something else. Take a second here if you need to take a little wobble. I'm a big fan of wobbles. And then let's pause here. Come up a little bit in the hips. With the toes tucked under, you'll lift the knees off the floor, but keep them really bent. Yep. Now, without going anywhere, try to push the mat forward with your hands so the hips move back. And at the tops of the thighs, press wide apart. Keep that as the legs start to go straighter. The heels sink towards the floor. And for this first one, legs are probably a little tight. If you want to pedal out the legs and move the hips from side to side, that might feel nice. Yeah, if you want to add a little bit of a spinal, almost like a side bend or a twist, that's fine. Pick what feels good. And then we'll pause here. Separate the feet about as wide as the mat. Bend both knees and walk your hands back. Eventually here we'll prop up the forearms on the thighs. So we're in this kind of squat-like position. Circle out the wrists a couple of times. And then without going anywhere here, try to pull the forearms back towards your hip creases and move the chest forward. Keep that, create a little tone through the belly. And on your next inhale, just pick a direction. You'll turn open for a twist, lifting up the arm. And then on the exhale, down we come. Inhale, second side, we go open. And exhale, we close. So take that one more time on each side. Great. Next time you're down, press into the feet. Use the inhale to come all the way up. Legs lengthen, arms reach overhead. Excellent work. We'll put the arms down. Stay here. Just do a little in and out, sort of a shoulder rotation. Yeah. Are going to add on to this with some spinal movement. I'll face the side. Let's stand with the feet just a bit wider than you would normally stand. Not, max capacity, just kind of a little. Also bend the knees just a bit. Take the backs of the wrists towards each other. Let the back round slightly. And on the next inhale, you'll flip the palms up, open the chest, pull the arms back, lift. And then on the exhale, we close it back. Just a few more. You took my Halloween class. We call this the flying monkey from the Wizard of Oz. Scary creatures. But now that Halloween's over, we can just call it a spinal flexion extension. Exactly. And then let's do one more time. All right, friends, release the arms. Stay in your kind of wide stance, bend the knees a little bit. And then one shoulder and then the other shoulder. You'll do a little roll and the spine, the movement will travel down the whole spine. Yeah, exactly. Great job, yogis. Let's settle here. And we'll stay at the back of the mat and we'll do this, it's kind of like a little march to get to the front with a little bit of balance work. So let's take hands to prayer. Stand firmly on the left leg and lift the right knee. And then step it down and lift the other one. Great. And we step, lift, and step, and lift. And just keep going until you get to the end. Oh. All right, I guess I'm slower than you guys. All right, once you're there at the end, let's release the arms. And for the next section, you might want to have blocks. So let's just have them, if you do have them, just prepared. Okay, so we'll stand in our mountain pose. You can either have feet touching or keep a little space, whatever feels the best. And before we go into the movement, let's take a little hula hoop asana. So the hips just take a little circle and feel how the weight shifts in your feet when you do it, yeah? It can be small, it doesn't have to be big. Go the other direction with that. Oh man, all right. And then let's let the movement settle. See if you can find the weight more in the heels and less in the toes. And once you have that, inhale, the arms will come up. Exhale, we'll take it down. Forward fold, you can bend the knees, of course, if you need. Let's take it up halfway, move the chest forward, and then on the way down, let's come down and step the right leg back. I'm going to have the blocks underneath my hands. You could join me there or not. Once you're in your position, Leah, scooch the blocks back a little so they're next to the foot, yeah. And then can you, without moving your hands, try to drag the hands towards the back of the mat as you pull the chest forward, which will help elongate the spine. Can you keep that and create a little bit more tone through the belly? Yeah. Now on the left foot, the front foot, press down a little bit more through the heel. And on the left arm, if you're up for it, slight bend in the elbow. Can you take the arm out to the side just a little bit and then bring it down? And do that 2 more times just on the left arm. So out to the side and down. Think about the muscles around the shoulder blade, kind of the inner shoulder blade helping to lift. Yeah. Great. And then once the arm comes down, we'll pause. Go ahead, lower the back knee. If you need a blanket for it, take it. Let's inhale. And then on the exhale, shift the hips back, go straighter on the front leg. Inhale, we'll take it forward. So take that a few times, just back and forth. Now, if you wanted to go onto the heel, lifting the ball of the foot up, you could. If you want to keep the whole sole of the foot down the whole time, that's fine too. All right, friends, so let's take a little pause. Next time the front knee is bent, back up the pelvis just a little bit, not all the way. And then let's take left hand to left thigh, right hand also to the left thigh. Look down, lift the belly up, and push the hands down. Yeah. Now from here, if you're able to shift the pelvis a little bit forward, do. Keep the lift in the belly, start to elongate the spine, bringing the head just to center. If you want to lift the arms, you can. If you need them on the leg for balance, that's fine. Think about lengthening the tips of the fingers up, but take the inner shoulders and let them just relax down. Don't push them down, just let them relax downward. Yeah. Great, one more breath in. And then on the exhale, release the arms. Let's tuck the back toes under, lift the back knee. One more thing in this position. Pelvis pulls back, chest pulls forward. You could stay with arms down. You could stretch the arms back, or some of you might stretch the arms forward. Yeah, you could also do a one arm if both are too much. Okay, last moment here. One more breath in. And then on the exhale, put the arms down. If you're on the blocks, let's move them out of the way. Hands to the floor. Go back to plank pose. Now we will be here for a little bit. If anybody needs to do plank on the knees or even just all fours, that's completely fine. Can you broaden your collarbones? Can you zip up through the lower belly? And don't move your hands, but try to pull the thumbs in towards the midline, towards each other, which should firm up a little more through the front of the body. Now let's come all the way down to the belly. Take your time to get there. Oh, yeah. Let's take a moment. Let's lengthen the legs back one at a time just so you have a little more room. Hands where they are. Lift the front of the shoulders a little bit, and then we'll do a slither cobra. So one shoulder doesn't roll, other shoulder doesn't roll. Back and forth we go a couple of times. Yeah. Good deal. Let's pause here. On the next inhale, peel up just a little more. Exhale, we'll go back to child's pose, toes tuck under. Just for a second, go onto your spider fingers on the hands. So the palms, the wrists lift, and that'll help relieve the wrists a little bit. Whenever you're ready, we'll meet back in downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. And if ever you need to move a little bit, that's fine. Yeah, you do you. All right, guys, to get out of this one, let's come to the front of the mat, but stay in the forward fold. So you might have to take a couple steps to get there. You might have to maneuver a little bit. But once you're in position, can you bend the knees slightly? Hands will move up to the tops of the shins. On the inhale, stretch the legs to straight, move the heart forward. And then on the exhale, rebend and let yourself fold it in. Do that a couple more times. So the inhale is length. And the exhale is fold. Inhale is length. And exhale is fold. This last one will be a little different. Inhale is length. And now on the exhale, let's step the left leg back, setting up for your lunge pose. Toes tuck under, knee lifted if you can. And then without going anywhere, try to drag the hands towards the back of the mat and pull the chest towards the front of the mat. Exactly. Stay there, firm through the belly. Just the right arm, little bend in the elbow. Let's lift it out to the side, kind of like a wing, and down. Do that a couple more times, just the right side for now. Yeah, can you lift the arm from the back of your body? And then after this last one, nice job, guys. And put the arm down, put the back knee down. Inhale to stay, and exhale to shift back. Take a few rounds of this, back and forth. If you need cushion for the back knee, you can set it up. I don't have a preference if your back toes are tucked or flat, whatever feels the best. Yeah. All right, and then from here, let's pause the next time the front knee is bent, but let the pelvis back up just a little bit. Yep, right hand to right thigh, left hand to left, to also to the right thigh. Lift up through the belly and look down for a second. Can you press the left shin downward as the belly is lifting upward and the hands are pressing into the leg? If you can shift a little bit forward, do. Let's elevate the torso. Start to lift up, and if you want to lift the arms, great. If you need the hands on the leg for balance, that's fine. Do think about making space between the rib cage and the pelvis and growing long through the tips of the fingers. All right, yogis, let's take one more breath in. Exhale, we're down, hands to something. Retuck the back toes, relift the back knee. We're going to stay here for one last moment. Pelvis pulls back, chest pulls forward, try to drag the arms back first. And then you decide, arms could stay down, you could do fingertips, you could do back, you could do forward, you could do just one arm if two are too much. Yeah. Nice job. Yeah. Yeah, Leo, just do two arms down for now and maybe work on becoming a little lighter in the hands without actually lifting. Yeah. All right, guys, let's come down. Move the blocks. We'll skip plank this time and just go into your downward facing dog. And if you'd rather go into child's pose with the knees on the floor, that's fine too. So just take a second to re-neutralize, reset. Exactly. And then when you're ready to come up to stand, we'll meet in a forward fold. Press down into the feet. Use the inhale, the left all the way up we come. And the exhale brings the arms down. All right, let's do our little shoulder in and out for a second. Nice. Right. So we did this a little bit in the lunge, this arm open and close. I'm going to have us do a similar pattern in Warrior Two, but let's just do it right now in Mountain Pose so you get a feel for it. So stand in your Mountain Pose, feet can touch or keep a little space, up to you. Take the arms, there's a little bend in the elbows and the hands are just slightly lower than the chest, yeah? So if you look at me from the side, it's like that, yeah. Good. And then on the inhale, let's open the arms, but keep the fingers in your peripheral vision. Exhale, we'll close back to center. So do this a few times and think about moving from your back when the arms move. Great. Strong back. It's very important for the whole body. Let's hold in the open position. Good. And now we're going to go straight arms. Turn the palms down and pretend that something is pushing up on your arms and you've got to hold it down. Yeah, nice. Okay, release that to shake it out a little bit. So we'll do that when we get to our Warrior Two. I'm debating if we get there from here. Let's go from lunge pose. So we'll kind of repeat the previous sequence. Let's come to the front of the mat. If you like to have blocks, they're there. Root down through your legs. Inhale, we're up. Exhale, we're down, forward fold. Coming up halfway, we lengthen. On the way down, step the right leg back first to lunge. So we've been here before. I'm going to have my back to you for the next bit. Turn the back heel down to the floor. Press into the front heel and kind of like a windmill. Up we come, we're in Warrior Two pose. Now let's make a little adjustment. You can just put the hands to the hips. Have a glance at the front knee and make sure it's not knocking in. Yeah, you want the inner knee to reach forward towards the front of the room. Yeah, Leah, that looks good. And then once you're in your position here, let's take your arms into this position. On the inhale, we open, keep your fingers in the peripheral, and then on the exhale, we close. Let's do this a few more times. Let it be the muscles in your back that are opening the arms and really supporting the whole carriage of the arms. And then we're going to pause next time you're in the open position. Keep the support in the back. Keep some support in the front. Let's go straight in the arms and turn the palms down. And then pretend you're holding something down with the arms. Yeah, exactly. Allison, that looks great. Leo, that looks good. Leo, can you take your left arm a little this direction? The front arm? Yes. Oh, yeah, exactly. Okay, friends, let's look forward towards the front hand. And then the arms will windmill down to the floor. Back heel turns up. Let's stay in this position for a second. And then let's do the left arm only. That we've done this before. So the open and close, keeping a little bend in the elbow. And let the torso move as the arm is moving. So it's a twist. Yeah. Great. Next time the arm comes down, we'll stay. Can you move the blocks out of the way? A few possibilities here. You could go to plank pose and hold. You could skip that. You could go to down dog and hold. You could go to either all fours or child's pose and just be there for a second. Yeah. Take a moment just to check in with your body, with your breath. Nice work. I see all choices going on. If you're in plank, go to down dog. If you're in child's pose, go to down dog. And then let's everybody meet at the front of the mat, so feet come forward. Just a quick little transition here. Halfway lift, and then take it down. Let's do that one more time. Halfway lift, and then come down. Last one, halfway lift. On the way down, left leg steps back, first lunge pose. Take a second just to sort it out. Back heel turns towards the floor, and then we'll come up warrior two. Take a second to get there. Let's put hands to the hips, take a little glance at the front knee. Inner knee reaches forward, don't let it knock in. Yeah, so bend your right knee and straighten the left. Yeah, exactly. And then let's take the arms into our position here, arms in front, slight bend in the elbows. Inhale, we open. Keep your vision forward and keep your fingers in your peripheral. Exhale, we close. Do that a few times, moving from your back. Yeah. Can you bend the front knee a little deeper? Good. Good, good, good. All right, and then let's hold in the open position. Keep the support through the back and through the front. Let's straighten out the arms, turn the palms to face down, and hold down your imaginary something. Yeah, so down, 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 down. Good. Lift your back arm a little bit. Yep, but then pretend you're pressing it down without actually pressing it down. Good. All right, friends, let's look forward. And then we're going to look down, take the arms to the floor, turn the back heel up. We'll do the twist, so it's the right arm moving. Let's turn open, moving from the back and the rib cage and the shoulder blade and the arm all move together. Down we come. Do that a couple more times. Awesome. Last round. And then the same choices again when we come down. You could do plank and hold. I'll do that one. You could do down dog, you could do child's pose, or you could take something else if you know what you're doing. Yeah. Great. Great. Let's join our friends in child's pose here. Put the knees down. Go back. Just take a little rest for a second. You could be still. You can add some wiggles, wobbles, whatever you want. And then let's take a second on your belly. We'll do a little stretch for the quads. So come on down, all the way down to the belly. Scooch the legs back one at a time. And then we'll bend the right knee, holding onto the foot or the ankle if you can. And if you can't, you might use a strap, or you could grab onto the edge of your pants or something like that. Yeah, you could also just have it there without holding. And as you're in this position, can you point the knee towards the back of the mat, but at the same time, draw your navel towards the front of the mat. Then you might also want to flex the foot. All right, friends, let's release that on the right side. Switcheroo. Standing up the left knee, find the foot or the ankle. Send the knee to the back. Send the navel to the front. And maybe flex the foot too. My left side's always tighter than the right. You might notice you have one of those too. Great, friends. You're going to release the leg. Stay on the belly. Just do a little kind of wiggle, a little blah, 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 blah. Yeah. All right. Let's go back to our downward facing dog. So take a second. We won't be there for too long. And let's widen your stance. Feet about as wide as the mat. Bend the knees. Press the mat forward with your hands. Send the hips back. And keep the hips moving back. The hands will walk back. We've done this before. So eventually the heels land. And let's set up forearms to thighs. Can you broaden the collarbones? Can you lift the belly? We're just going to do one on each side, the same twist, but see if you can find that integration, the arm, the shoulder blade, the rib cage moving together as we turn. Yeah? So you might not go as far when you do it this way. And down, let's do the other side. Yeah. Do it, one more time actually on each side. And really put your brain in your upper back. Oh yeah. Nice job, nice job. It's funny, our eyes are in the front, so we don't pay attention to what's going on in the back a lot of times. Root down through your legs. Let's use the inhale to come all the way up. And then the arms come down alongside you. Great. So let me show you here. We're going to do the march step again with a possible add-on. So earlier we just did this, pretty straightforward. For the next round, some of you might want to do this where you hold, open, close, step, hold, open, close, step, all the way to the front of the mat, yeah? If that's not working out, just do the straight steps that we did before. So when you're ready, let's say it's right leg down, left leg up, hold, and then we open, close, step, other side, right hand to right leg, open, close, step, and I'm not going to talk anymore, you just go at your own pace. Yeah, there's a lot going on. You remember to use your back when the arm is moving. All right, friends, made it to the front. Nice work. Let's celebrate just with a little hula hoop asana. I love watching everybody at home do it's so great. Go the other direction. Yeah. Okay, so next we'll take a wide-legged forward fold. We'll add in some things. Let me show you kind of how it looks. Basically like this. If you know you want props for underneath your hands, you can set up the blocks as necessary. You kids at home, just face whatever direction's easiest to see. Same thing, you guys in the room. All right, let's start upright. We'll go down all together. First, have a look at your feet and make sure one's not ahead of the other. Sometimes that happens. Also, look at the toes. We want the toes to point forward. We have a tendency to turn the whole leg out here, but try not to do that. Let's have a slight bend in both knees, hands on the hips at first, and we want to hinge from the hip crease, not from the waist, yeah? So let's come forward and down, landing your hands right under the shoulders. Keep the knees bent for a second. And before we straighten out the legs, at the very, very tops of the thighs, press a little wider apart. And you might feel in your feet that shifts the weight towards the pinkies. Can you hug the ankles in a little bit so the weight's more even on your feet? Yep. Keep that. If you're able to go straighter in the legs, do. If not, keep the little bend. Let's maintain this in the legs and keep the hips where they are. Walk the arms as forward as you can. If you're on blocks, just bring them with. And if you're able to do fingertips, do that. That'll give you a little more length and a little more lift through the armpits. Yeah, great. Now, think about the center of the armpit here, just lifting a little towards the ceiling. It's a very weird thing. Bend the elbows a tiny bit, and can you spin the elbow tips down towards the floor? Yeah, that'll rotate the arms and move the shoulder blades. Keep the rotation, re-straighten the arms. Your choice, you could stay here. You could start to walk the hands back, landing where you started under the shoulders. If you're able to go a little further back, that's an option too. Let's keep the fingers pointing forward, same direction as the toes, but how far you go is up to you. And you may or may not want to go onto the fingertips. Yeah? Okay. So once you're in position, Allison, don't go further back than your feet. Yeah. Once you're in position here, if you're able to bend the elbows, even just a teensy bit, do. Can you spin the elbow tips back? That'll rotate the arms. Don't move your hands. Try to drag the hands back as you move the chest a little forward to broaden the collarbones. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Leo, that looks so good. Does it feel okay? It can be a little bit intense. All right, we're gonna back off. Take the hands slightly forward of just under your shoulders, just a little ahead of that. I'll mirror you here. Walk both hands towards the right. Doesn't have to go far, just a little bit. Bend the left knee and shift the pelvis back a little bit. Yeah, so I'll just say it again. Hands are going towards the right. You'll bend the left knee and shift the pelvis back. Many moving parts. I'm hoping you get a nice stretch on the inner thigh. Let's go the other direction. So back to center we come. Hands go left. Bend the right knee. Hold the sides tight. And then move the pelvis back. Yeah. Good. Can you breathe while you're in the position?
A little bit.
Oh, no. Yeah, that's more important than all the other stuff. So make sure you can breathe. All right, friends, let's head back to center here. Heel toe the feet in a couple of times so you're just not quite as wide. Slight bend in the knees. Press wide again through the upper thighs. Engage the belly. Hands come to the hips and we'll come up on an inhale. All the way to center. Yeah. All right. Bring the legs back together. Just move around a little bit. Let's take another hula hoop asana. Yeah. And then other direction we go. While we're here, let's just do a side bend. You guys can face me. Let's take the arms up overhead. Hold on to the left forearm, pull up, and we'll go over to the right side. Yeah. And up we come to center, switcheroo. Right one goes up, over to the left we go. And back to center, release the arms. Yeah. Okay, great. Any questions, anything you want to say? Nothing, we're doing very well. Let's come down to sit. We'll do a little bit of seated work and then we'll take it back down to your back. So let's sit like this with the legs forward, knees bent, and you'll actually be on the heels. So the toes are up, hands are behind you, and you'll press down into the hands. Use that to help sit up tall. Roll the shoulders back a little so the collarbones are nice and broad, nice and open. Now feel what happens here. You'll gently dig the heels down into the floor and try to pull them back towards your buttocks in an effort to engage the backs of the legs. Great, you feel that. Now some of you will just stay here with the hands down. Some of you will let go of the floor and take the arms in this position. We're still dragging the heels back. Yeah, sit up nice and tall, nice and tall. This one is as much about the legs as anything else. It's funny, it looks like nothing, but there's a lot going on. Awesome, and then relax. Yeah, let's shift back a little bit, just take kind of a little wobble here. And now our next one will be a stretch for the outer, kind of the glute area. And it'll look like this. If you know that you need to be doing this laying down, yours is gonna look like this. It's the same leg position. I think it's just a little different here. So if you're sitting, you'll press down. You know what, actually before you do, lean back a little bit, cross the right ankle over the left thigh, and you're perfect. And then you'll press down to sit up tall. I'm getting plenty here. I'm a little tight today in the hip. If you are not getting enough, you can lift the pelvis, scooch it a little forward, and come sit down again. But go a little bit at a time because a little can go a long way. Now for everybody, sometimes there's a tendency to kind of roll back on the pelvis. You need to do the opposite, roll a little more forward, trying to bring just a normal lumbar curve into your spine. Everybody, keep the right foot active. You could even imagine, or if you can touch it, you could put your other hand there and press the foot in the hand. Yeah, good. And then let's keep that doing its thing. Maybe take a tiny little side to side. Awesome. I don't know what I did yesterday. It's so tight. Maybe that's what I did. Maybe it's what I didn't do that made it tight. Yeah. Yeah. And Leah, if you want to put a blanket under your head or something so you don't have to lift the head, the neck should be more relaxed that way. All right, guys, let's relax here. Undo. If you're on your back, you can stay on your back. If you're on your front, just sit for a second to move your hands around. Sometimes the hands get a little tired. Yeah. Okay. We're setting up for our second slide. So if you're sitting, you're going to start a little longer and then we'll shorten that. Left one crosses over. If you're on your back, it'll be left one crosses over. Press down through the hands, sit up tall. Broaden the collarbones. And then for everybody, try to have normal lumbar curve. Try to rock a little more forward on the pelvis. Oh, yeah. Those of you who are sitting, if you need more, you can scooch the pelvis incrementally forward, tiny little bit at a time. Good. Activate the left foot. You can use your hand or just your imagination to press the foot outward towards the right. And if anybody wants to add in just a small little side-to-side rock, it's an option. You're gonna stay there. I'm gonna go mess with Leo for a second. Yeah, I'm just gonna stand next to you. Let go of your foot for a second. And then you're gonna press into my leg with your foot like you're standing on it. More, a little harder. More with the heel. You feel that in the hip? Awesome. So keep that idea. Great. And then from here, friends, let's undo your situation. If you're on your back, you can stay. If you're on your front, you can undo and just give their hands a little movement, a little motion there. Yeah. All right. So we'll do a little bit of hip extension after the previous pose. Let's come lay down on your back. And if you've been in my class recently, you've probably done this one. It's my latest favorite thing. The right knee is going to stay bent. The left leg stretches out long on the floor, and just let the left one relax. And then on the right leg, you'll press the sole of the foot down into the floor, and the right hip will start to lift, and you'll start to turn like a little rotation towards the left. And then come down and put the foot in a different spot. Press down as the right pelvis lifts. And keep doing this. So every time you go, you'll put the foot in a new spot, and that might be a little wider. It might be rotated out. You can try a few different things. It might also feel good to have the arms overhead. And some of you, instead of pressing into the heel, might press into the ball of the foot and lift the heel. Yeah, so it's meant to give a little sensation of opening through the front of the hip. We don't want any sort of pinching in the lower back. So if that's happening, you might be moving a little too far. And then let's finish up, last one on this side. Before we switch, just take a second, just pause in the middle with both legs long. And after doing that, if you divide your body in a right and a left half, the right side might feel quite different than the left. For me, it usually feels like it's sinking down more. So we don't want to be uneven. We'll try it out on the left side. Bend up the knee. Press the foot down as the left hip lifts. And then down we come and put the foot in a new spot. And go again. And we'll just keep going with this. Arms could be wherever they want to be. In addition to forward, back, the foot might go out wider, or you can change the degree of rotation. So many different possibilities here. Maybe the heel peels up off the floor and you're just on the ball of the foot. I do want to remind you that we don't want to feel any sort of pinch in the lower back. If that's happening, make the movement a little bit smaller and see if that helps. Yeah. All right, guys. Let's pause here when you're ready to be done. Just take another check-in. Yeah, notice the right side and the left side now after that one. So our next position here, let's bend up both knees, feet on the floor. And we'll take the right foot. I'm going to demo the left foot, but you'll do the right foot. Scooch it underneath so the foot goes in between the left foot and the left buttock. And the knee rotates out and goes towards the floor. Now, if that feels really unstable or uncomfortable in the leg, you could put a prop under the thigh. And then from here, you'll pick up the left leg and bring it in towards your chest. Now, if that feels like too much, you could put a block under the foot so the leg is slightly elevated, but not that much. Yeah. So I'm guessing you'll be feeling this more on the bottom leg, the top. If you can soften and relax into it. And in a very, very gentle, non-aggressive way, at the back of your ribs, the lower ribs, just gently let that sink downward and spread wider. And so let's undo the left side. Come back to your center and then take the hands on the thighs, on the front of the thighs, and just press straight ahead, hands into the legs. And then we'll do our second side here. So that'll be your left. The foot scoops underneath in between the right buttock and the right foot, maybe with a prop under the thigh. The right leg comes in and you could hold on with your arms, or you could put a prop under the foot, or if you need to adjust in a different way. You guys in the room look okay, but just call out if it doesn't feel good. And as you settle into this position, it's quite likely that you'll feel sensation in a slightly different part of the leg than you did on the first side. That's pretty normal. Do bring your awareness to the lower back ribs, and in a very, very mild, gentle way, let the back ribs sink downward and wider. Just imagine kind of a broadening sensation. Yes. When you're ready, let's undo the right leg and then undo the left leg, just back to your starting position. Hands will press again into the thighs, just straight ahead. Yeah, and you can either stay here and hold, sometimes that feels good, or sometimes a little pulse, like a back off and then another press. That might feel better to you, so take whatever. And then when you're ready here, our final shape will be Shavasana, just laying down on your back. Some of you might prefer a prop behind the thighs or a blanket under your head. I'm just going to sit because it's easier for me to talk that way. Most important here is that you're comfortable. See if you can let the work be complete. This practice, let the effort be over. Allow your body to settle. And see if you can relax around your face, around your eyes, around your jaw. every time you hear some noise or notice potential distractions, simply notice that and move on from it. Relax your belly. And deepen your breath. And start to take some small, gentle movement back into your body. At any point, if you'd like to take a little stretch, maybe turn your head from side to side, whatever helps wake you up a little bit. As you're ready, let the knees bend. Just very gently roll over. We'll meet on one side. And you could use the arms to press up. We'll meet sitting as hands at heart center. Thank your body for everything that it's able to do. Yourself being here. And we'll close with that same little hum that we did in the beginning. Take a breath in. Namaste. Namaste, yogis. Thank you.